How's it going? Motor City Miner here, coming at you with another update on my K10. So I did get 2 replacement hashboards in the mail today, so we're going to open these up. I'll put them in my one machine that's only running a single board right now, so you can see it just has one board. The other 2 are out. So we're going to get these open, see what condition they're in. Hopefully they're in a much better condition than the ones that came with the original units. And yeah, you can kind of see what we've been doing. So you can see we're missing 8 chips on the one unit. There should be 12 chips total, 4 per board, 3 boards per unit. So, you know, this is that one that we just saw that's missing 2 boards. And you can see that, you know, it has essentially 1/3 the hash rate of my full unit. Again, I did have a bad board in each unit, but I moved one of the good boards from this unit to the other, so I have at least 1 full unit. And also for setup purposes today, it's going to be easier. I don't know if these boards come with the algorithms burned into them already or not, into the SD cards. So if they don't, it'll be a lot faster to do that on one unit rather than having to do it on both units of the K10. So that's why I'm putting both new boards in the in one unit rather than, you know, how there was one bad board in each unit. So we're going to break these open, see what condition they're in. Hopefully, like I said, hopefully they're in much better condition. So I can definitely say that they packed them really well. Haven't even gotten to the end yet, but yeah, tons of wrapping in the box. Then this foam actually looks like a normal K10 box, like the foam that comes around it. And yeah, it looks like even inside that there's even more. So we're going to keep working my way through, but it is nice to see that they packed this very well. I mean, look at all these layers of bubble wrap, guys. We're getting there. We're almost there. But we'll get this out. But I am really happy to see that they took their time to wrap these. All right, guys. So got these out of the boxes, and they look to be in really good shape. A lot cleaner than the ones I originally received. Still think they were used, you know, at least tested in some capacity. But they are very, very clean compared to the units I got originally. So, looking good there. I'm going to start moving them into the rig now, and hopefully this goes pretty smoothly today. All right, we got 3 boards loaded up finally in this guy, so we're going to turn them on and hope for the best. Like I said, I don't know if these SD cards have any algorithm previously burned or installed to them, so it might be a while before I get it up and running. That normally takes like an hour, but again, we'll just kind of jump ahead to that. I do plan to do a future video of actually like how to fully set up, go through step by step from start to finish on these guys to help. I know a lot of people need help with these, so I think that'll be helpful, but I plan to do that in a future video once I know both my machines are working properly. And that way, you know, there's no hiccups in my tutorial on how to set it up. But yeah, we're going to turn this on here. And got the red light on there. So we're going to head on over to the computer, see if we do indeed have success here. So, yeah, be right back. All right, so the bottom one here, the 237 unit, is the one that we just replaced the hashboards on. So it isn't showing any errors anymore, so that's great. And the miner state, right now it's just loading the SD, so we'll find out here shortly if all those boards came pre-programmed with a lithium, which is what I have been mining with these. So we're going to have to sit tight for a little bit. That process normally takes up to 5 minutes. And we're only at the 1:20 mark, so you can see the other unit though is mining fine. But yeah, we'll sit back, sit tight, and see if this loads. As you can see, we have moved on to loading for the miner state. Still no errors, so far looking good, and I'm gonna guess that means the SD cards have the lithium, you know, already burned into them, the algorithm. It's been about 9 minutes now, so we're gonna keep sitting here. Usually it takes about 15 minutes to get going, so we'll wait until that's done, and hopefully this works well. Well, guys, we finally got both my K10s at full hashing capacity. So you can see the one that's highlighted is the one that we just put the 2 new boards in. It's mining. It's finally reporting 12 chips, which is awesome. Everything else is looking good. You know, seems to be overachieving at the moment on the hash rate, but keep an eye on that. Yeah, everything's looking good. So thanks, Tswift, for working with the manufacturer to get this up and out there. You know, and getting me the replacements. If you do have issues with your machine, although you will be troubleshooted by SuperScalar, they then will determine during that process, you know, what the issue is, what the resolution is, but then you will have to go through whoever your retailer was, distributor, to actually do whatever replacement or whatever they recommend. So just keep that in mind. It's definitely, you know, it definitely seems like they're new to the hardware selling game. Definitely not new to mining. As I said, I think all these machines, you know, they've clearly spent tons of R&D time and have mined them for quite some years at this point, probably at least 2 years they've had these machines and are starting to sell them to the public, probably because the K11's around the corner. Not that that has much improvement on proof of work mining. It's really for zero knowledge proofs like a Leo that it has a major improvement on. Yeah, so just happy to finally have these up and running at full capacity. Like I said, I'm going to have a how-to now that I got these fully working, kind of a how-to from step 0 all the way up. And it's kind of a great time to do it because SuperScalar just released an updated, like this program here that you're seeing, the manager tool. So this is an old one. They have a new one that was just released. And as part of that new release, you can also implement a new firmware on your machine. And that new firmware actually will allow you to not have to reinstall the firmware every time you want to change algorithms. So in the old version and the version I'm currently running, if you ever want to change algorithms, you will have to install a new firmware on the machine, burn that algorithm to the SD card. It's quite the long process every time. So the new firmware resolves that. So essentially, my understanding is that you install this new firmware, you then burn each algorithm to the card, so you know, without changing the firmware. So you burn all 4, which will take quite a lot of time, I assume. But once you've done that one time, you can now switch at will between algorithms. So really great to know that that functionality is coming. So I'm going to include that in my how-to video because I'm going to have to update all my firmwares on these. So it'll kind of be a good place to go from 0 to 100, you know, on how these work. So hope you found this content interesting today. Hope it helps you with your K10s. Like I said, how-to will help a lot more in the near future. That's my next task. So like, subscribe, and that's all I got on my K10 SuperScalars. Until next time.